What up, guys? It's your boy Matt from RamseyVoice.com, and I am so glad that you're here because we have to talk about something. People have been arguing about whether you want to sing with a high larynx or a low larynx or a resting larynx for so long. Honestly, it's been over 100 years and people debate on it all the time, and it's so silly because when you actually know the position that you need to keep your larynx in order to sing your best, it becomes really easy to do because you're not all confused about whether you're trying to sing too high or too low. So you're gonna get three huge things out of our lesson today. Number one, you're gonna learn exactly what your larynx is and what it does. Number two, you're gonna learn the ideal position for your larynx. And three, I'm gonna give you a fantastic exercise to make sure that your larynx is always in the right position when you sing. Now, if you find this video helpful, make sure to smash that like button, comment with the next kind of video that you want to see me do, and subscribe and turn on notifications for this channel. Or if you want to improve your singing voice today, check out my complete singing course, Master Your Voice. Just click the button to get on the wait list. Now, to get started today, first we need to talk about what the larynx is. And by the way, it's pronounced larynx, not larynx. It is your larynx, which is the same thing as your voice box or your Adam's apple if you're a guy or identify as male. But the voice box or the thyroid cartilage basically just holds the vocal cords. It's this Adam's apple, voice box, larynx, whatever it is that you want to call it. It's right here in the middle of your throat, and it's made of cartilage. And on the inside of that, it holds your vocal cords. The interesting thing about this is that whatever happens to the larynx happens to the vocal cords. So they're kind of one and the same. You can think of like the larynx being your car and the vocal cords being the passengers inside of that car. So if my larynx is too high, it's really tight like that, then my vocal cords are also going to be very, very tight. Or if I push my larynx down too much, kind of like I'm yawning, then my vocal cords are going to be really relaxed and really, really open, kind of like I'm yawning. Now, I think it's really important to note that the larynx or your voice box is actually controlled by muscles outside of your vocal cords. So the vocal cords are on the inside, but what actually controls the larynx is the swallowing muscles, which can raise it, like when I swallow, the muscles push my larynx as high as it'll go, or the yawning muscles, which is trying to push the larynx down as far as it will go. And you can try this for yourself. If you want to lower your larynx, just pretend that you're yawning. And you'll see right there, I have a pretty prominent Adam's apple, so you'll be able to see that my larynx goes down when I try to yawn. Or if I want to raise my larynx, I can just swallow. It goes way up as I do that. Now, a lot of people wonder, what is the right position to have your larynx in when you sing? Do you want to have a low larynx when you sing? Do you want to have a high larynx when you sing? Well, here's the answer. You want to have your larynx resting as much as possible when you sing. That means not too low, not too yawny, and also
not too tight and not too swallowy or too tight.
But a lot of people are gonna say, wait a second, I heard that speech level singing was all about keeping your larynx super low when you sing. Well, the truth is that Seth Riggs, the founder of speech level singing, and most speech level singing technique is definitely in favor of a low larynx, but only if that's trying to avoid a larynx that's too high. Now, Seth Riggs was really a genius in that he found that there was a connection that when a singer sang up to high notes, usually the larynx followed that. So Seth's solution to that was to add a little bit of a yawny or a dopey sound to that really, really high larynx in order to keep it right in the middle. Now, things got out of hand for a while, and for a long time, people were teaching, it's just always low larynx, low larynx, low larynx. But the truth is that you want to keep your larynx right in the middle most of the time. However, I will say that most singers, when they're first starting off, will just tend to sing with too high of a larynx as they sing up to high notes. So if I'm singing from an my larynx tends to follow that. However, as a voice teacher, we need to train you not to raise your larynx too much as you start singing upwards. So how can we do that? Let's jump in. My favorite exercise for improving a resting laryngeal posture, wow, that sounds so fancy, is basically thinking like a balance beam. If a larynx is too high, then if I add an exercise that pushes the larynx a little bit lower, most of the time that singer is going to come out right in the middle. So if I'm singing, and it's really, really high and really tight because I'm singing a high note, if I add a little bit of a yawny to that, all of a sudden my larynx is balanced in the middle. Now, I will totally agree with you that that sounds a little bit silly and a little too operatic. So what ends up happening is you go from an to an and end up right in the middle, so that it sounds balanced and it sounds beautiful in tone. Now, how do you actually accomplish this in singing? Well, one of my favorite exercises is to basically pretend that you're yawning into notes that are a little bit high for you. So what you can do is you can actually start to feel this in your own voice. Just gently take your thumb and your first finger and just gently feel your voice box. You can even give it a little rock from side to side to make sure that it's staying pretty chill. Now, you do not want to press or push or squeeze your larynx or force it down or anything like that. We're just feeling it. And what I want you to try is try taking a high note for you, and we'll say maybe on an exercise like a gi, 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 gi. Let's say that note is going really with a high larynx for you. Instead, what we can do to push that down is, again, if the larynx is high, I can give you a lower larynx exercise so that you balance out right in the middle. So let's add a little bit of a yawny feeling to that. So gi can turn into gi. So let's try that here. And again, that may sound a little bit silly, a little bit operatic, a little for a little while. But at the same time, you want to start off with that larynx a little bit lower first so that it balances out right in the middle before you get to the Now, a lot of people are still going to say, hey, wait a second, I still feel my larynx going up as I sing. Well, yes, that's probably true. You're probably going to feel that your larynx still wants to go up on those higher notes, and that is totally normal. You're not going to fix that in one 20-minute voice lesson. However, if you keep an eye on it, continue feeling it as you practice singing those higher notes, over time, you'll naturally start to allow the larynx to rest a little bit more, and that is the perfect place for it. Guys, I hope you found this video super helpful in learning to sing with a more balanced and resting larynx. If you found it helpful, make sure that you smash that like button, comment with the next kind of video that you want to see me do, subscribe, and turn on notifications for this channel. Or if you want to improve your singing voice and learn how to balance your larynx across your entire vocal range, check out my complete singing course, Master Your Voice. Just click the link to get on the waitlist.